Some stories are not just about injury, they're about resilience, grit, and an unstoppable comeback. Welcome to Sahyadri Health Talks, where we bring you real stories, real struggles, and real healing. Today's episode is incredibly special. We are talking about a journey that goes beyond medicine. It's about pushing limits, enduring pain, and still choosing to rise again. We have with us Ms. Nagindra, a Maharashtra state level kabaddi player whose journey is nothing short of extraordinary, facing over 200 plus shoulder dislocation, yet making a strong comeback. Before we begin this interesting conversation, let's hear out a little about our guest, Ms. Nagindra.
नमस्कार, माझे नाव नागेंद्र कुरार. मी कबड्डी खेळते. माझ्या संघाचे नाव आहे राजश्री छत्रपती संस्था पुणे. मी गेले 14 वर्ष झाली कबड्डी खेळते. माझे इथे येण्याचे कारण माझे शोल्डर इंजुरी, कारण माझे 200+ वेळा शोल्डर डिस्लोकेट झाले आहेत. मी अभय कुलकर्णी सरांनी माझं ऑपरेट केलेलं आहे. त्याच्यामुळे मी आज इथे सह्याद्री हेल्थ टॉक्समध्ये माझी स्टोरी सांगायला आली आहे. तसे माझे शोल्डर डिस्लोकेशनला झाले 6 वर्ष. पण 3 वर्ष मला तेवढं काही वाटलं नाही. मला सवय झाली त्या गोष्टीची की मी असं निग्लेक्ट केलं की काय होईल बसतोय तर ना, जेणेकरून घरातली कामं करताना, झोपताना, झाडू मारताना, कपडे धुताना,
अच्छा,
की ते मग मला सारखं हात निघायला लागला.
खेलने के अलावा while you were playing उसके
हाँ,
अलावा भी
उसके
आपको
अलावा
रात को भी सोते सोते शोल्डर डिस्लोकेट हो
नींद
जाता
में म्हणजे झोपेत पण माझे हात निघायचे.
Initially, it was not coming on daily,
Achha.
but at an interval of 3 months, 4 months, when she used to exert, when she used to play matches. But after some time, it started coming out more frequently.
भीती मला खूप होती की मी परत खेळू शकेल का. म्हणजे झालं माझं ऑपरेशन खूप चांगलं झालं. म्हणजे सरांनी खूप, आणि खरं तर सरांनी मला एवढं चांगलं ट्रीट केलं हॉस्पिटलमध्ये की म्हणजे मला अशी कोणाची गरज नाही पडली की हे करावं किंवा हातासाठी ह्या गोष्टी करावं. की सरांनी मला खूप चांगलं सांगितलं की तू काय केलं पाहिजे आणि तुझी रिकव्हरी कशी होईल. फक्त मग त्यांनी मला एवढं सांगितलं की तू रेस्ट प्रॉपर कर.
इंजुरी से डर लगता है अभी भी?
अभी तो नहीं लगता.
अभी नहीं लगता. And joining her is Dr. Abhay Kulkarni, shoulder and knee surgeon, who played a key role in her treatment and recovery. A highly respected orthopedic surgeon with over 25 years of experience, he brings deep expertise in shoulder, knees, and sports injuries. He practices at Sahyadri Super Specialty Hospital, Deccan, Gymkhana, and is known for his clinical excellence and compassionate patient care. With over 2 decades dedicated to orthopedics, he has treated a wide range of complex cases with remarkable outcomes. Hello and welcome to Sahyadri Health Talks, a platform where we try to understand the complex medical world in a simpler way. We listen to stories, the stories of struggle, healing. This is Dr. Tushita, and today we have with us Ms. Nagindra, Maharashtra state level kabaddi player. Hello. Nagindra, how are you?
Fine.
Welcome on Sahyadri Health Talks. And joining us today is Dr. Abhay Kulkarni, a man who needs no introduction. Maybe I should say welcome back, sir. This is the second time we are seeing you on Sahyadri Health Talks. The famous name when it comes to shoulder and knee surgeries.
Yeah, thank
in
you.
Maharashtra.
Thank you for a kind introduction.
So it's lovely to have you both today, and we will have a lot of discussion. And आज का discussion will be, the best part is when I was talking to Nagendra and we were trying to finalize the shoot. She said कि मुझे ये पॉडकास्ट हिंदी और मराठी में करनी है, because मेरे तरह बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं who are ignoring their injuries, and she wants to, you know, everyone to listen to it. So आज की conversations हमारी होंगी ज़्यादातर मराठी में and a bit maybe Hindi and English.
Perfect.
है ना? तो sir, starting with you, first of all, thank you so much for giving us this time today. And so we are talking about 200 dislocations. Is that true?
Yes.
200 dislocations. Okay. So, I mean, it's a huge, I think there's a lot of pain and healing behind it. तो हम नागेंद्र से शुरू करते हैं. नागेंद्र, पहले तो आप बताओ कि, you know, क्या हुआ था. I mean, do you remember the first time जब ये shoulder dislocation हुआ था?
हाँ, मुझे याद है.
आपको याद है. तो चलिए आप हमको वो स्टोरी बताइए पहले, तो हुआ क्या था? Because हमें तो, I mean, it's unreal.
मैं छोटी थी बहुत.
अच्छा.
और सब जूनियर की हमारी पुणे की टूर्नामेंट थी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल की.
अच्छा.
और वो सिलेक्शन ट्रायल थे हमारे कि फर्स्ट टाइम मुझे वहाँ पे लगा था. कि मैं खेल रही थी, मुझे वो मुझे मतलब मैं गिर गई थी नीचे।
अच्छा
उसके बाद मुझे वो पेन हो रहा था।
अच्छा
फिर उसके बाद ही मुझे चालू हुआ की बार बार वो उधर ही लगणे, म्हणजे तिथेच
मराठीत
तिथेच
हा,
मला
मराठीत
सारखं
सांगू
लागत होतं.
हां हां
तिथेच मला सारखं लागत होतं. मग त्याच्यानंतर एक 6-7 महिन्यानंतर मला त्याचा त्रास जाणवायला लागला की पुढे मी खेळायला लागले. मग तिथून माझा हात खांदा निसटायला लागला, म्हणजे सारखा निघायला लागला, तो डिस्लोकेट व्हायला लागला. की ते सुरुवात तिथूनच आहे माझी, की ती माझी पहिली टुर्नामेंट होती की तिथून माझी सुरुवात झाली की हात निघायचा.
बरं, तेव्हापासून तो दर मॅचला निघतोय तुझा खांदा,
हो,
म्हणजे प्रत्येक
प्रत्येक
मॅच
मॅचला, म्हणजे तेव्हा सुरुवातीला असं झालं की प्रत्येक मॅचला असं निघत नव्हता. 2 महिन्यातून एकदा
बरोबर. हा
किंवा 3 महिन्यातून एकदा, म्हणजे
बरोबर.
जसे
हो, हो.
टुर्नामेंट व्हायचे तसे.
बरोबर.
मग त्याच्यानंतर हळूहळू मग ते प्रॅक्टिस मध्ये पण निघायला
बरोबर.
लागलं.
राईट.
असं झालं.
So Tushar, this is very important what she's saying. Ki initially it was not coming on daily,
अच्छा.
but at an interval of 3 months, 4 months, when she used to exert, when she used to play matches. But after some time, it started coming out more frequently and more easily. So this is the crux of it. That's because she was not treated at the timely basis.
At the initial period.
Now she started dislocating very frequently, and then at every match session she used to dislocate 4-5 times in every practice session.
Okay.
So that's a huge number.
बट नागेंद्र, हमें जितना पता है ना, एज ए लेमैन मैं बता रही हूँ आपको, डिसलोकेशन से ना लोगों को लगता है कि मतलब देयर विल बी ट्रिमेंडस पेन. तो आपको फिर 4-5 बार डिसलोकेट हो रहा था, आपको दर्द नहीं होता था उस लेवल का कि मतलब वेयर यू हैव, आई मीन व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज लोगों को शोल्डर डिसलोकेट होता है, दे कम लाइक दिस टू द डॉक्टर एंड यू यूज्ड टू फिक्स योरसेल्फ अप. सो कैसे करते थे ये दर्द?
आता मला त्याची म्हणजे निघाला की मला खूप पेन व्हायचं. 4-5 दिवस कंटिन्यू ती पेन, म्हणजे खूप कळा मारायच्या मला, की खूप म्हणजे खूप त्रास व्हायचा मला, म्हणजे मुवमेंटच होत नव्हते आधी जेव्हा निघायचं तेव्हा. पण नंतर अशी एक सिच्युएशन आली की मला त्या गोष्टीची सवय झाली, की मग मी तिथून माझा शोल्डर निघाला तरी मग मी माझा बसवायचे. मग तिथून माझी भीती मेली, की म्हणजे असं कॉमन झालं माझ्यासाठी ते, की आता काही नाही, मला सवय झाली, निघाला मी बसवायचे. फक्त एवढंच की तो पेन खूप व्हायचा. 4-5 दिवस ते कंटिन्यू पेन राहायचं.
So, doc, from a medical angle of it, right? What does the patient exactly feel during this time?
Yeah, see, when there's a first dislocation, we always ask the patient the history of the first dislocation.
अच्छा.
पहिल्यांदी डिस्लोकेट झाला तेव्हा कसं झालं. So as she said, initial dislocations are very painful because that is the time. See, as you know, shoulder is a ball and socket kind of a joint, right? Dislocation means the ball comes out of the socket and it will tear the ligaments. So the pain of the ligament tearing, this is what the patient has. Every time she dislocates, every time there's a new tear which is happening. So but after some time, the tear is so big that the ball just comes easily in and then she can easily put it inside. Many patients learn this trick to just put their shoulders inside.
Oh, is it?
So that is one reason why they come late to the doctor, because they once it is relocated, then the pain goes off, right? And then there's again a period of painless period until the next dislocation. So this is the basic reason why many athletes, they delay coming to the doctor or delay taking treatment for the shoulder. But in the long term, that's not good, because every time she's dislocating, even the bone is getting rubbed off.
Yes,
It
because
is
it gets
scratching.
eroded, right?
Exactly. So ball and socket both are scratching against each other. So that's the thing. So early treatment is the crux of the of the whole success of the treatment.
Whole success of the treatment. So आपको कब पता चला कि अच्छा ये नॉर्मल नहीं है, इसकी इट्स क्वाइट सीरियस, मुझे अभी डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए. सो आपको कब रियलाइज हुआ ये?
3 वर्षापूर्वी झालं मला रिअलाइज.
3 साल तक आपका शोल्डर डिसलोकेट हो रहा था?
तसे माझे शोल्डर डिस्लोकेशनला झाले 6 वर्ष.
ओह.
पण 3 वर्ष मला तेवढं काही वाटलं नाही. मला सवय झाली त्या गोष्टीची, की मी असं निग्लेक्ट केलं की काय होईल बसतोय तर ना, मग काय होईल, त्याची मला कधी भीती नाही राहिली.
मला त्रास नाही, काय होईल, टू थिंग्स व्हिच वी हिअर.
अशी भीती नाही वाटली मला, की सवय झाली त्या गोष्टीची. निघाला तरी असं वाटायचं काय नाही, होऊन जाईल, 4-5 दिवसात होऊन जाईल. मग मला 3 वर्षांनी खूप त्रास व्हायला लागला, की म्हणजे जेणेकरून घरातली कामं करताना, झोपताना, झाडू मारताना, कपडे धुताना,
अच्छा,
की ते मग मला सारखं हात निघायला लागला.
मतलब आपके खेलने के अलावा व्हाइल यू वर प्लेइंग, उसके अलावा भी आपको रात को भी सोते सोते शोल्डर डिसलोकेट हो जाता?
नींद में ही म्हणजे झोपेत पण माझे हात निघायचे.
So this is the turning point. See, when it dislocates in your sleep, that means that there is no stability at all, and that creates so much fear in the patients. You can imagine you're sleeping peacefully, and suddenly the shoulder dislocates, and it is tremendous pain.
And you wake up in the
You
middle
wake
of
up
your
with lot of
sleep
pain.
with so much
So
of
many
pain.
patients we know because everything is relaxed. They're not conscious, and it dislocates.
सगळ्यात जास्त भीती वाटायची मला झोपेत.
झोप येते
फिर
exactly.
उसके बाद
कारण
ऐसे होते
काय
होते क्या?
व्हायचं की झोपेत निघाल्यावर प्रॉब्लेम काय व्हायचं, ग्राउंडवर निघाल्यावर एक गोष्ट वेगळी होती की ग्राउंडवर निघाल्यावर मी माझं पण बसवायचेच, पण जर नाहीच बसला तर बसवायला कोणीतरी होते, सर होते, फ्रेंड्स होते, पण घरी निघाल्यावर मला एवढा त्रास व्हायचा की अक्षरशः की मला सहन नव्हतं होत. आणि झोपेत तर त्याहून नाही, खूप वेळा माझ्या झोपेत हात निघालाय, पण मला बसवायचं म्हटलं की एवढं मला बसवायच्या आधी मला टेन्शन असायचं की बसतोय का हा हात नक्की. मग त्याची मला सारखी सारखी भीती वाटायची की काय होईल, माझा हात बसतोय का, की मला काय करायला लागेल, की माझ्या हाताचं काय होईल, अशी खूप भीती मनात होती.
तो आप फिर डॉक्टर के पास गए,
हाँ,
आपने
मग
कंसल्ट
मी
किया डॉक्टर
2-3 जणांनी डॉक्टरांचा सल्ला घेतला. मग मी सह्याद्री हॉस्पिटलला माझ्या पप्पांची ट्रीटमेंट चालू असायची, त्याच्यामुळे मी त्या सरांना विचारलं, मंगेशुधर सरांना मी विचारलं होते की शोल्डर स्पेशलिस्ट कोण आहेत का. तर सरांनी मला अभय कुलकर्णी सरांची हे दिली. मग मी सरांना भेटले. सरांनी मला खूप छान म्हणजे असं व्यवस्थितपणे समजून सांगितलं की की तुला काय केलं पाहिजे. म्हणजे त्यांनी माझे रिपोर्ट्स आधी चेक केले की ते मला बोलले की तू एवढं होईपर्यंत कशी काय थांबली. मग मी त्यांना म्हणजे आता तेव्हा माझी सिच्युएशन नव्हती करण्यासारखी किंवा तेवढा सपोर्ट नव्हता की मी ट्रीटमेंट करू शकत होते, पण मला सरांनी खूप चांगलं सांगितलं. आणि त्यांनी जे एक्सप्लेनेशन दिलं मला शोल्डरच्या बाबतीत की काय केलं पाहिजे, की तू पुढं हे झाल्यावर तू कशी राहशील किंवा कशी खेळशील किंवा तुला ह्याचा त्रास काय होईल किंवा काय नाही, म्हणजे मला खूप खूप चांगलं त्यांनी सांगितलं. मग तिथपर्यंत मला भीती होतीच खूप की काय होईल माझ्या हाताचं, पण जेव्हा सरांनी मला समजून सांगितलं की तेव्हा कुठेतरी माझ्या मनात आलं की नाही होईल, मी ठीक होईल.
Good. So आपने जब पहली बार सुना, when you heard 200 dislocations, right? What was your reaction? I so wish I could see that reaction.
No, I couldn't believe it. म्हटलं काय खरं सांगतेस का तू नागेंद्र?
खरंच
200,
सांगतेस
I have never ever heard of 200. So 20-30 was what we have heard.
Yeah.
But what she told me that during every practice session 4 to 5 times dislocations for last 3 to 6 years. So I think 200 is just we are giving a ballpark
It's a ballpark
figure.
number,
It could be
yes.
more than that.
Yes.
So I was amazed or flabbergasted. 200? What is this? Is it real? Is it real?
कदाचित जास्त पण असू शकतं, कारण शेवटची सिच्युएशन अशी आली की मी नॉर्मली जरी सरळ जरी झोपले तरी माझा मागा निघायचा. तरी म्हणजे नॉर्मली जरी मी सरळ झोपले ना, तिरकी किंवा काही नाही, सरळ जरी झोपले तरी माझा हात निघायचा ऑटोमॅटिक. किंवा खूप त्रास व्हायला लागला मला.
So you can imagine what misery this patient, what fear they undergo. Yes. This called apprehension. So there is this constant fear ki now it will dislocate, now it will dislocate. She cannot concentrate on her play. She cannot play with a full force and full energy. She was just right now telling me now that she's playing, she says she's already improved by 50% her performance after the surgery. Now it's what 1 year after the surgery. So that affects their performance a lot. So that's the reason why treating shoulder cases in time and properly is very, very important for this players, state level players, high performance athletes.
Typically sports injuries, right? So how does a single injury eventually converts into a multiple dislocation? How does this happen? I mean, help us understand.
I think this is a very good question and everybody needs to understand this. So as I told you, when there's a first dislocation, the ligaments get torn off from the socket. Those ligaments cannot heal on their own, because the blood supply gets disturbed and it cannot heal to the socket on its own. And with eventual dislocations, the tear keeps on, it increasing. And the bone tissue, the tissues, the ligaments then become very, chronic and like sclerotic. They start losing the potential to heal up.
Achha.
Right? And as she told, then after a few dislocations, they'll easily start coming out because there is nothing preventing the ball from coming out. Ligaments act like as a barrier for the ball coming out, and there's no barrier, so it easily comes out, and it falls into a habit of coming out.
So in her case, what was the kind of injury that you saw?
Yeah, so see, we 200 dislocations. First of all, I had to take some time to
Accept
digest this,
that.
accept this, and then we completely evaluated her clinically. First of all, by checking her, then we did her MRI scan and CT scan. So we have a very good quality, machines out our place, and there's a protocol through which we analyze all this. And then we found out that there are two major issues. One is a ligament is torn, but the most important, because of these frequent dislocations, the ball and mainly the socket has lost almost 20% of her bone.
Acha.
20% of the socket had lost its bone.
So there was a continuous bone loss which was
Bone
happening.
loss which was happening, and that 20% is a big number, especially in a kabaddi where there is a lot of contact sports. It's a very aggressive sport,
Yes.
and she has to be agile. She is jumping, people are pulling her. So such athletes need a proper treatment whenever there is such huge amount of bone loss.
So, but we do see a lot of athletes and players, right, who have such kind of injuries, but they keep on playing.
Yeah.
So, what is the kind of risk that she had exposed herself to during those 3 to 6 years before meeting you? And in spite of having so many shoulder dislocations, she still continued her game,
Yeah.
or forget the game part. I mean, even the regular
Right,
chores
right,
which she was doing. What kind of risk was she up
Yeah,
to?
see, what has happened because of that is that the fear factor is getting more and more complex, right? Her performance is getting affected because she cannot perform to that level. These athletes won't perform to their, best level. And third thing is it might sometimes lead to major injuries. Like suppose there was a patient of ours who was a swimmer, and during swimming his shoulder dislocated. So then it could be life threatening also in some cases, right? So maybe you're just jumping, going onto climbing onto a bus or something, and the shoulder dislocates. This is not to monger fear, but these are practical cases which we have seen, right? So dislocation at critical places or those moments, they can be really disastrous, right? That is one thing. And for sportsmen, it is mainly it affects their performance a lot. And for them, even some amount of performance, even in 5-10% performance goes down, it really affects their careers. So it could be career threatening if it gets late.
So, my next question, you can choose to answer this. We have usually seen that when any sports person, or for that matter, any normal layman also, he or she continues to live their life with a pain, it start affecting the other parts of the body. Was something like that seen in her case as well?
Not much, because see, overall she's a very fit person, right? She exercises so much and all. So not much in her case, but we've seen sedentary workers and other workers like office going and all.
Yes.
They start having a lot of neck pains,
Yeah.
back pains, and because they're trying to do some trick movements to prevent that dislocation,
Yeah,
right?
maybe sitting in a particular
Sitting in
position,
a
or
particular
not lying in a particular
exactly. So it
way.
also plays a lot on their mind, on their confidence. They might lose their confidence because of that. So
Yeah.
we see him there, but not in Nagindra. She's a very fit individual, very
athlete.
strong. Yeah.
So, how was it for you to convince her or do a diagnosis where you realize that the treatment cannot be a standard repair and it would require a surgery?
Yeah.
And how was that discussion among both of you?
Yeah, so she's very smart. She could understand when I explained her that the bone has lost. I showed her on the CT scan. She could understand, because see, athletes read their bodies very well. That is one thing which we differentiate between, let's say, a person like me and a very high level athlete like Nagindra.
Yes.
They can read their own body, right?
Yeah.
So she understood, and I explained her that way. So see, I gave her a small example, so I can just give it here. So I tell patients, suppose unfortunately there is some accident and the patient starts losing blood. So initially we give normal saline. Saline can be given to the patient to compensate. But if a lot of blood is gone, then blood has to be replaced by blood.
Correct.
So if some bone goes, then we can just do a soft tissue surgery. But if a lot of bone is gone, then bone has to be replaced by bone. So just to make it easy and for her to understand. So she understood that, and then we took a decision to perform a Latarjet surgery for her.
So, जब सर ने आपको बताया कि सर्जरी करनी है,
हाँ,
डर लगा? लगा ही होगा? नहीं? She's really a strong athlete, नहीं?
Amazing.
So, I mean, how was your experience? आप सर से मिले, आपने सर को बताया, फिर how was it narrating him the entire story of yours कि मेरे को ऐसे shoulder dislocations हुआ है, and सर ने कहा कि surgery है. Tell us your experience.
जेव्हा मी सरांना भेटले, म्हणजे त्यांनी रिपोर्ट बघून तर ते स्वतः शॉक झाले की एवढं कसं काय. मग मी त्यांना सांगितलं की हे कधीपासूनची इंजुरी आहे. मग त्यांनी मला परत म्हणजे असं खूप मला म्हणजे भीती पण वाटत होती मला खूप,
अच्छा.
की आता काय करावं लागेल. सर स्वतः शॉक झाले रिपोर्ट्स बघून की एवढं तू कसं सहन केलं, की एवढं होईपर्यंत का थांबली. पण मग नंतर त्यांनी मला जे समजून सांगितलं की तुला ह्यातून काय करावं लागेल, की तुझं ऑपरेशन कशा पद्धतीने होईल किंवा कसं होईल, त्याच्यानंतर तुला काय करावं लागेल, किती रेस्ट घ्यावी लागेल. मग त्यांनी समजून सांगितल्यावर कुठेतरी मग मी अशी हे झाले की नाही होऊ शकतं. मग भीती तर होतीच, पण सरांनी सांगितलं तर मग जरा कुठं असं वाटलं की होईल बरं. पण ऑपरेशनची पण भीती होती की माझं ऑपरेशन होईल का व्यवस्थित, परत त्यात काय प्रॉब्लेम झाला तर, किंवा म्हणजे भीती तर होतीच की काय
ऑपरेशन
होईल,
के बाद कैसा रहेगा,
काय होईल, मी
घर
खेळू
वालों
शकते का.
घर वालों का रिएक्शन कैसा था?
घरचे आधी त्यांना मी एवढं सांगितलंच नव्हतं, पण त्यांना नंतर कळायला लागलं की मला खूप त्रास व्हायला लागला. मग मी त्यांना सांगितलं की मला खरा त्रास काय होतोय. मग घरी निघायला लागला, मग त्यांना तेव्हा पण समजलं की मग ते बोलले की एवढाचा त्रास होतोय तर मग तू करून घे ऑपरेशन. मग सांगितलं घरी, मग घरचे पण तयार झाले की कर तू. म्हणजे कबड्डी सोड म्हणत होते ते पहिली गोष्ट, पण माझी इच्छा नव्हती. खेळायचंच होतं.
I think this is what this is the what you say the best line of the whole interview that she as I told you it was career threatening. तिला कबड्डी सोडायला लागली असती आणि तिला सोडायची नव्हती. So that is her commitment and passion towards the game. And this is what drives these athletes. We have seen tremendous passion in these athletes, the drive, and if you now when we come to this thing recovery part, I'll tell you she recovered in half the time which normal athletes would take. That's the tenacity and there's a love for the sport these guys have. It is
I think
unimaginable.
it's a total athlete spirit
And amazing.
So ये जो डर होता है ना नागेंद्र मन में हर एथलीट का, जैसा आपको भी था कि अगर ये ऐसा चलता रहा तो मैं कबड्डी खेल पाऊंगी कि नहीं, सर्जरी के बाद मैं कबड्डी खेल पाऊंगी कि नहीं, ये जो एक डर था इसको आपने कैसे ओवरकम किया. मतलब आपने बात करी सर से, कैसे, आई मीन हाउ डिड यू फाइट अगेंस्ट इट?
भीती मला खूप होती की मी परत खेळू शकेल का. म्हणजे झालं माझं ऑपरेशन खूप चांगलं झालं, म्हणजे सरांनी खूप, आणि खरं तर सरांनी मला एवढं चांगलं ट्रीट केलं हॉस्पिटलमध्ये की म्हणजे मला अशी कोणाची गरज नाही पडली की हे करावं किंवा हातासाठी ह्या गोष्टी कराव्या. की सरांनी मला खूप चांगलं सांगितलं की तू काय केलं पाहिजे आणि तुझी रिकव्हरी कशी होईल. फक्त मग त्यांनी मला एवढं सांगितलं की तू रेस्ट प्रॉपर कर, रेस्ट केल्याशिवाय काही हे नाही. मग मी त्या पद्धतीने म्हणजे जसे सर बोलले तशी मी हे केलं. पण खेळाची भीती होती की मी परत खेळेलच का. म्हणजे ऑपरेशन झालंय माझं सक्सेसफुल तर झालंय, मी रिकवर पण झालीये, पण माझी पहिली टुर्नामेंट होती वेस्ट झोनची. म्हणजे कॉलेजचे टुर्नामेंट असतात वेस्ट झोन, म्हणजे एक नॅशनल टाईपच. की मी त्या टुर्नामेंटला अशी भीतीने होते की मी खेळेल का. पण मी त्या टुर्नामेंटला जोरात खेळून गेले आणि माझ्या रिकव्हरीला जास्त दिवस नव्हते झाले. मी 6व्या महिन्यात परत माझ्या ग्राउंडवर मी उतरले. मग तिथून जी माझी भीती मेली की नाही इथून मी खेळू शकतेच, की आता मला हे नाही, मी इथून खेळणारच. मग तिथून म्हणजे कदाचित ऑपरेशनच्या आधी जेवढी मी जोरात खेळत नव्हते काय, त्याच्यानंतर मी खूप म्हणजे ऑपरेशन नंतर मी आधीपेक्षा जास्त मी खेळतीये.
So when such patients, like especially these athletes, when they come to you and they are apprehensive about such things, how do you manage, and what message do you have for all the orthopedic surgeons, all the sports surgeons out there who are handling sports injuries, maybe day in day out they are doing it. So what plays a very important role when it comes to patient counseling for such patients? So what role does it play?
So what I feel, we have to be very realistic when we discuss with them. There is no point in over promising and under delivering. So we are very realistic. We set the time frames for them, right? And that is discussed with them. So at 3 months you will do so and so things. After 3 months you will start exercising. So what exercises have to be done? And how just give them a sort of a roadmap. So that is to make them comfortable, because for them they are also impatient, right? So unlike routine, the athletes become very impatient and they'll always jump those milestones, right?
Yes.
So they can do because their body is really geared up sometimes, but try to fit into all those milestones and those the communication has to be very proper with
And
them.
giving proper milestones.
To them that at these things you have to achieve. Let's say shoulder range should be let's say 90 by 4 weeks or whatever. So all these milestones have to be discussed with them, and the physiotherapy plays a very very important role in all
Important.
this, right?
So the rehab part,
rehab
right?
part.
So we'll come to the rehab part and the recovery part
Yeah.
later. I read the reports and the entire case. I read the term lethargic surgery.
Yeah.
Help us understand, what is it?
Yeah, so see, lethargic surgery has been described there for many years, right? It came really into vogue when it has started. It was done a lot in South Africa, where there were a lot of rugby players. These rugby players are really hugely built.
I mean, they're
and they
like-
dash against each other. So that's a
Yes.
contact sport, aggressive sport, similar to kabaddi. Kabaddi is also a very aggressive sport, where they have to jump a lot. Then you'll see some of her videos where she's jumping over the other opponent. I was amazed to see that
I
landing
saw
on her
that.
hands and
Yes.
all. And very agility also is needed. So it started with that, and they saw tremendous success rate in this high contact athletes and all these aggressive sports. So in this, what we do is that there's a bone called as coracoid, which is near to the in the shoulder joint, and muscles are attached to this. So we osteotomize it at that place and fix it to the socket, right? And along with the muscles which are attached to that. So this gives two added advantages. One is that the socket which has lost its bone will regain the bone which it has lost, and the muscles which are there attached to the bone, they give a sling effect.
Acha.
So whenever there is a tendency for the shoulder to come out, it will trigger that sling, and the muscle will contract. So it's a double layered help that gives that the lethargic surgery offers, and it is a time proven surgery, and no other surgery has matched the success rate of a lethargic surgery world over.
So as we know that it was a 6 months period of
Yeah.
time between the surgery and return to the sports, right? So what made it possible?
So ideally, it was not 6 months. It was supposed to be 1 year, but
Acha.
she has done
She
it
made
in
it 6 months.
Yeah. So after 3 months, because 3 months is the time when the bone has to heal to the parent bone, right? The bone graft which we have done, and the muscles also regain the strength. During this period, we start very basic exercises, but after 3 months, we start proper exercises with resistance bands, weights, and all. Proper positioning, proper proprioception. So balancing is very important for the shoulder. So all these exercises are started, and the confidence is regained. Patient who has lost his confidence, this is basically to relearn. The muscles and the joint has to relearn things. It is a relearning process which goes on, and physiotherapy rehab is mainly for that. So the patient has to, the muscles have to get back their memory, the strength, their memory, their balance. So this is the process that goes on after, let's say, a period of initial healing. That is an ongoing process.
And how was that with her? I mean, she being an athlete, right?
It was-
You were
yeah,
just
I
saying
know,
that you wanted to say a lot about her recovery phase.
Yeah, it was amazing. So first of all, she's a that way very obedient patient, right?
Patient of yours.
And so she always overdid. Overdid in the sense, if I told her that you have to do with 2 kgs, she used to manage easily with 5 kgs.
Acha.
So that's how her recovery really went on fast. She didn't tell me when she played after 6 months. She told me later because I would have objected. So, but still she played.
Okay, are we
and-
sending out some wrong messages here?
No,
मी
no.
सरांना सांगितलंच नव्हतं की मी आता खेळले मग खेळून झाल्यावर मी सरांना सांगितलं
Right.
तो आपको डर नहीं लगा जब आप गए थे? मतलब इतना गैप हो गया, सर्जरी हो गई, एक डर तो था ही ना मन में. So how was it when you went back to the first match after surgery?
भीती होतीच
तो I mean, it was okay for you कि
हां
I mean, how was the feeling?
She explained now, though she told that she was feeling apprehensive, but initially she started and she just realized that okay, she could do it easily.
Yeah.
And that built up her confidence, and then she did a lot of efforts in her exercises. She never missed a single session of exercise. Even for the physio, she herself used to do a lot of exercises. Videos of exercises which she shared with you, they're really great. It shows her commitment actually, commitment to the sport and commitment to getting better. This is very important, that the commitment has to be, in her cases, it is complete, absolute committed. She's committed to the sports, and that is her plus point, I can tell you.
So, surgery with a proper planned, disciplined
Disciplined physiotherapy, and a lot
is
of efforts on the rehab. The patient herself has to be motivated. Motivation and commitment on the part of athletes. That really, change the whole game.
So नागेंद्र, सर्जरी के बाद जब हमारी रिकवरी फेज चलती है, फॉर अ नॉर्मल लेमैन इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज सर्जरी के बाद फिजियोथेरेपी वगैरह में काफ़ी दर्द होता है, आपको भी हुआ होगा, बट आपने अपने आप को कैसे समझाया कि ये करना है, दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज एज डॉक्टर इज सेइंग कि योर रिकवरी फेज वॉज वेरी इम्प्रेसिव, सो व्हाट केप्ट यू गोइंग, आई मीन क्या मोटिवेट करता था आपको कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है?
मला खेळायचे, मला जोरात खेळायचे. माझ्या डोक्यात एवढंच होतं की म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस मी फिजिओला जायचे तिथे मला एकच होतं की माझा हात किती लवकर रिकवर होतोय आणि मी किती लवकर खेळायला लागेल आणि मी परत त्या ह्यानी खेळेल का. माझ्या डोक्यात तेच चालू असायचं की सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे मला खेळायचंच आहे फक्त, मला जोरात खेळायचे बस. एवढंच माझं मोटिवेशन आहे की मला लवकर मला लवकर रिकवर व्हायचंय बस. त्या ह्यानी मी माझं जे काय म्हणजे जे फिजिओ होते मी त्यांना एकच बोलायचे की मी जे काय करते त्यातून मी लवकर रिकवर झाले पाहिजे.
So that's the story.
I think that's the, what you say, if you can give the, what you say, the highlight of her story is her determination. Her determination and a passion for sports. The way she has taken it away, I'm really, when they teach us so much, it's really inspiring for me itself, for all of us, that going through so many dislocation and still having that, that positivity that yes, I'm going to play against all odds.
Yeah.
So her story is playing against all odds, and she's really done it. So
True
it is
fighter.
True fighter and real time inspiration, real life inspiration.
Yes, real life inspiration. So we'll come back to her again. Before we move forward, what are the other modalities which are usually available for shoulder dislocation? Like for her case, we took out the latarjet surgery.
Right.
But what are the other conservative or the other approaches towards it?
So conservative, we would not give in a sportsman or in a younger age patient. Maybe the patient is after 25-30 years, first dislocation. We can try conservative methods. We just give a sling and all these things. But for these athletes, and especially in younger patients, when the dislocation becomes recurrent, or whenever, even if there is second dislocation or second incidence of instability, that patient would need a surgery, right? So there are three types of surgeries in this. First of all, most commonly in early stages, we do an arthroscopic repair, right? So which is a keyhole surgery in which the ligaments will be sutured back to the socket or to the ball from wherever they have got torn, right? So that is the first surgery. The second nowadays we do is something called as a bone block procedure, arthroscopic bone block procedure, where the marginal cases, the gray zone cases where the bone loss is less and the ligament is torn, but the bone loss is not like her 20% or something. They are between 10%, 12%. So we take a small bone block from the patient's, body itself. It could be from the iliac crest or from some part of the shoulder itself. And arthroscopically, we would fix that to the socket, right? That's the second surgery. And the third is latarjet surgery. As I told you, latarjet is the BAP of all surgeries, right? So for the shoulder dislocation. So the results have been time tested, and especially in contact sports and aggressive sports, there is no surgery that has withstood the success rate as a latarjet surgery. So that's the last thing, right? So I think these three surgeries sum up the treatment for recurrent shoulder dislocation, which is quite a common problem, especially in sportsmen.
Okay, so now coming back to our champion, our fighter.
Yeah.
So Nagindra, खूब सारे एथलीट्स होते हैं, प्लेयर्स होते हैं, आपके टीम में भी होंगे शायद, एंड जिनको इंजुरीज होती रहती है और वो इग्नोर करते रहते हैं, तो उनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज रहेगा?
मी त्यांना एकच सांगेल की इंजुरी नेग्लेक्ट करू नका. म्हणजे जी माझी इंजुरी झाली, मी जे सहन केले ते, म्हणजे खूप जणांना नी इंजुरी होती, शोल्डर इंजुरी होती, बॅक इंजुरी होती, की त्यांना मी एकच सांगेल की लवकरात लवकर तुम्ही डॉक्टरचा सल्ला घ्यावा आणि जी काय ट्रीटमेंट असेल तुम्ही ती लगेचच्या लगेच तुम्ही रिकवर केली पाहिजे.
इंजुरीज से डर लगता है अभी भी?
अभी तो नहीं लगता.
अभी नहीं लगता. So, sir, what would be the final message to all the players out there who are enduring this and ignoring it?
So similar to what she said, so there's no point in neglecting the injuries because it is going to come back to you and the injuries are going to increase, right? So timely consultation with a expert, a sports injury surgeon, shoulder, it may be shoulder, knees. We see a lot of knee injuries also, kabaddi, wrestling, cricket also is also there. So we are seeing a spike in all these injuries, right? Because now younger children are started playing, at 12, 13, 11 years they have started playing very high, high demand sports. So we are seeing injuries, the number of injuries and the frequency is increasing. But there is no point in neglecting that. Timely consultation and if needed, timely surgeries. I think this is the message that goes out to all the athletes there and that's it. So.
Well, on that note, what would be the one final thing that would be, that would always stay with you when it comes to the word and the name Nagindra?
Yeah, okay. So, see, every surgeon through his career would undergo a few surgeries or a few patients meet him, which enriches his life and his maybe his surgical skills, right?
Yes.
So, Nagindra will always stay like a highlight in my surgical career because 200 dislocations. Treating a high-level athlete with around 200 dislocations was a challenge, was a surgical challenge for me. And now looking at her recovery and what game she's playing, her performance has increased. She's won the gold medal in the last tournament where she plays.
Oh, wow.
And if you see her matches, the amount of energy, the aggressiveness, it is some next level. You cannot believe how she can play. Yeah. And that is a real, it makes you feel good, satisfied that we have helped her to regain back her, previous confidence and her sports. So that's a really, real great gratification that I feel. Just one thing I want to put about Nagindra herself, her determination, her tenacity, she, there were many issues, financial issues, social issues, but what stood out was her tenacity to get better and the love for the game.
The passion, yeah.
The passion, that is unparalleled, So I think we should celebrate that,
Definitely.
and that gives you the fun and the gratification of being a sports surgeon.
Definitely.
Seeing their success and being a small part in their whole success,
Yeah.
that is a great satisfaction that we get.
Lovely. A big congratulations to you and your
Yeah.
team for such a lovely and successful surgery.
Right.
And a big congratulations to Nagindra for going back to the sports that she loves, that she dreams and, sleeps and breathes.
Yeah.
On that note, this is Dr. Tushita signing off, Sahyadri Health Talks.